All right. So, shalom everyone. You know, it says in the Midrash, in Bereshit, it says, "Vayvarech Elohim et Yom HaShavi vayikadesh oto." Hashem blessed the seventh day and made it holy. It says over there that Hashem puts a blessing on a person's face. That means a person becomes like there's a certain beracha. Beracha means abundance, something more. That means there is a special light on a person's face. That's the beracha. When it says "Vayvarech Elohim et Yom HaShavi," that Hashem blessed the seventh day, that's what it is. So over there in the Midrash it says that the light which is upon a person's face the whole week is way different than what it is on Shabbat. And really you see it. You see it on some people's totally, you see the light. There was a big tzaddik, Rav Chaim Michernovich. They say that on Shabbat he looked even taller. And everyone used to say that, he was just a head taller. When he would be going for Arvit, people would see him, people wouldn't recognize him. This is not him. So one of the famous Rebbes asked his father, Meshulam, Rav Meshulam Natan Margaliot. It was a famous Hasidic Rebbe. He was one of his students. He asked him, "Is this true what they say about him, that on Shabbat he was taller?" He says, "You have no idea. I never exaggerate. But the first time when I saw, I never knew his height, but I didn't recognize him. First time I saw him on Shabbat, I didn't recognize him. It was a different person." Could you imagine? This is Shabbat. This is what Shabbat does to us. Baruch Hashem. Ashrenu. Fortunate we are that we have the zechut, that we have Shabbat. All right. With your permission, I'm just going to touch on the two small things that I purposely left for the last in Halachot of Muktzeh, and that is the ability to move Muktzeh. Okay. One is called tiltul min hatzat, literally movement, right, from the side. Tiltul min hatzat means movement from the side. What it essentially is that one is allowed to move a muktzeh item when he's not touching it directly with his hands, right, in a normal manner, but he uses another object to move it. Okay, so again, to move the muktzeh, not directly with your hand, but using another object to move it, this is allowed only if this movement is done for something which is mutar, right? Your objective is something which is mutar. Example, you had almonds, cashews, that their shells are muktzeh. And now you want to remove those shells, So you could take, let's say, a knife or a squeegee, and to move these on the table, because this is for the tzorech of something which is mutar, the table. Right? You're not doing it for the shells themselves. You're doing it to clean the table. So your objective is the table. And that is why one is allowed to do that, right? Right. Another example. Let's say they are you have these sort of garbage on the floor. You could use a broom to sweep them. What's the davar mutar here? The floor, the house. It's mutar, right? So for the sake of something which is mutar, then you're allowed to use another object, like we said, like a squeegee mop, or on the floor, let's say a broom. You could use a broom to sweep the table as well. Just as long as you're not moving the muktzeh objects directly, we're good. Okay. This is a Mishnah. This is in Masachet Shabbat. I'm not sure if it's a Mishnah or the Gemara. It says, "Notel Adam." A person is allowed to carry his child, right? Even though the child is carrying a rock. As we know, a rock is muktzeh machmat gufo. And it is impossible to move a rock on Shabbat under no circumstances, unless you set it aside from before Shabbat. But otherwise, but it's a baby. The child, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old baby, a child is picking up this rock and wants the rock. So now, there is a condition. You shouldn't lift the child if he has a rock in his hand, only if, as the term in the Mishnah is, im yesh lo ga'aguim alav. Ga'aguim alav means he misses him. But what does that mean? That means the child will throw a tantrum if you don't pick him up. Right? That's the condition. Again, so the child has a rock in his hand. For some reason, he likes this rock. And he picks it up. And he wants you to pick him up. If you don't pick him up, he's going to throw the rock at you. No, he's going to throw a tantrum. He's going to get sick, basically. That's what ga'aguim means. So one parent is allowed to lift the child, even though he has a rock, which is a muktzeh mahmat gufo, in his hand, right? And if the rock falls, he is allowed to lower the child. Shalom. He's allowed to lower the child, and the child will pick the rock up, and then you could pick the child back up. So, yes, is that clear? Now, this is only true for a rock. But if the child has money, he has a quarter in his hand, then you're not allowed to pick him up. Right? You're not even allowed to hold his hand and walk with him, because if the money falls, we are choshesh that he might go ahead and pick up the money, and that is totally muktzeh. The quarter is muktzeh mahmat gufo. Big issue, right? For the rock, we're not choshesh, we're not afraid, he's going to drop the rock and you're going to pick it up. You're not going to pick it up. It's worthless. But the money talks.
In his pocket also?
I don't think in the pocket, they didn't say. The Mishnah doesn't talk about the pocket. In the pocket, we're not choshesh, we're not afraid that it's going to fall off. So there's less of a fear for that. The issue, because it's muktzeh.
But he's already having it in his pocket. How come that's not?
If he has it in his pocket, then we're not afraid that it's going to drop. The fear is that he's going to drop it. That's what we're afraid of. So when it's in the pocket, it's not going to drop it, so we're not afraid of that. But when it's in his hand, then there is more of a chashash, more of a fear that we have that he might drop it. This is the difference. Yes?
Were you scared the parents going to pick it up?
The money, yes. The parents are going to pick it up. It's money. Chas v'sholom, we're going to lose the money. With a rock, big deal. Rock fell. All right, Baruch Hashem, better. So this is called tiltul min hatzad. You're not directly moving the muktzeh. The muktzeh is being moved by something indirectly.
But that probability of you picking up the money exists even if you're not holding the hand or picking up the child. Even if the child is just walking next to you and holding the money, wouldn't you come to pick up the money?
No, he says you shouldn't even do that. The child, if you're not holding it, then the child is on his own. You're not holding his hand, but when you're holding his hand, then you're paying much more attention. It's something that you're attending to. So it's more of a chashash, more of a fear that he's going to pick up the money. Your kid is 8 years old. You're not holding his hand. He's walking on his own, and hopefully by then he'll realize he shouldn't be picking up money on Shabbat. But that's a different issue. Okay. Next category which is more let's say lenient, is called tiltul kele'achar yad. Tiltul kele'achar means with the back of your hand, as if offhandedly moving something. Okay, so that muktzeh one is allowed to move muktzeh kele'achar yad, meaning with his body, with his foot, or with his elbow, or he blows on it. Things like that. Even if he does it, now this is the kicker, even if he does it, letzorach davar asur. Previously, it was letzorach davar mutar, right? It was for cleaning the table, it was for cleaning the floor. But here, letzorach davar ha'asur means even for the muktzeh itself. Let's say you have an expensive item, which is muktzeh, on the table, and you're afraid that it's going to get stolen. Right? So then you could move, let's say the table is not a basisa davar asur, as we learned before, and you could move the table with your foot, or you could move the muktzeh with your elbow until it falls somewhere that it won't be seen, or it wouldn't be danger of it breaking, or some water spilling on it or whatever, getting damaged. Let's say you find money somewhere. Somewhere safe, somewhere that you could carry. Let's say there is eruv, and you found money. Like it's a wad of $100 bills. Okay, let's make it exciting. And you don't want other people to see this money. So what do? You are allowed to move it with your foot to somewhere safe, and hide it, stash it away until after Shabbat. You're rich. Okay.
You could do that.
Yeah, sure. It's tiltul kelachar yad. One is allowed to do it. Mishnah says you have let's say on the pillow, the person has some hay. He wants to sleep on the pillow, right? It says over there, don't pick up the hay with your hands. That's muktzeh. What can you do? Move it with your body, with your elbow, with your foot. Kick it off, right? You could shake off. No, not the pillow. The pillow is a problem because the pillow, it depends when you put the hay on it, what was your intention? If your intention was that it should be there for the duration of Shabbat, then you made the pillow basisa davar asur. Then we have a problem. Refer to the previous shiurim. Why?
I'm even a little bit confused.
Oh.
But the point of the hay is there because someone put it on there, or you wanted it to be there?
Remember, basisa davar asur means that you have something which is mutar on it before Shabbat. You, the owner, put something which is muktzeh, that it should stay there for the duration of Shabbat. That becomes a basisa davar asur. If someone else put it, it doesn't become basisa davar asur. If you put it there temporarily to pick it up soon, it doesn't make it basisa davar asur for the duration of Shabbat, right?
Yeah.
All right. It's not that we're done with halachot of muktzeh, but we are done with halachot of muktzeh. There's a lot of halachot in muktzeh. It's one of the. I think we had 6 shiurim on it, if I'm not mistaken. What? Seems like more? Yeah, I thought so too. But I think looking back, I think it was 6 shiurim. All right. Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to start the halachot of refuah. We should not need these halachot. Everyone should be healthy and good. But it's good to know. It's good to know, as dear as Shabbat is, as much as we try to, know Shabbat, but there are some times that one has to, so to speak, desecrate Shabbat or transgress certain halachot of Shabbat, chas v'shalom, if it's needed, but it's good to have some knowledge of it. It says in the Torah, the basis is, Ushmartem et chokotai be'et mishpatai asher ya'aseh otam ha'adam v'chai b'hem. Okay, this is in Parashat Kedoshim, I believe, right? That Hashem says that we should keep the laws of Hashem and the rules, that a person shall do them and he should live by them. Ani Hashem. So the Gemara in Masachet Yumam and in Masachet Sanhedrin, 2 places, at least that I know of, says that the Torah is commanding us v'chai bahem, that a person should live through keeping the mitzvot, right? The mitzvot are given to us so that we should use them to live by, and not chas v'shalom to be in a life danger through the mitzvot, right? If chas v'shalom there is a life danger, then that's not where Hashem commanded us to do the mitzvot, okay? The Rambam writes in Halachot of Shabbat that it is asur to delay in Chilul Shabbat for a sick person. Chole sheyesh bo sakana. We're going to have a few different terminologies. We're going to start at the top. Chole sheyesh bo sakana means that is a person who is sick and there is a danger. There's a life danger in this person, to this person that is sick. Okay? Rambam says, asur leit mahmeya. It is asur to delay in Chilul Shabbat, in being Mechalel Shabbat, meaning right away being Mechalel Shabbat. And he quotes the same pasuk, Asher Ya'aseh Otam Ha'adam V'chai Bahem. Rambam writes, Halamata, you learn from here, She'en Mishpatei HaTorah Nekama, right, Ba'olam, that the laws of the Torah aren't like an uprising, go up, be like Islamic jihad, no. Ela Rahamim, it is mercy, and chesed, kindness, and shalom ba'olam. They are peace in the world. Al-salam, right? That's peace. So that's the Rambam. Rambam writes so the Torah is commanding us. Chas v'shalom, that a person shouldn't think, oh, should I? By the time you do it, the poor thing is going to go. Right? There's nothing to delay. And it's brought down in Halachot. Rabbeinu Nisim writes that if a person is sick and he's in danger, so we have to be mechalel Shabbat for him to save his life. And whoever is quicker about this, harezeh meshubach, he is praiseworthy. Shulchan Aruch brings down that when you are being mechalel Shabbat, we try to do it not through a goy, not through a child, but through an adult Jew who is a Yareh Shamayim and knowledgeable. Why is that? Because number one, if people see us running after a kid, oh, please do this, do that, then they're going to think, oh, you know what, it's Asur, an adult can't do it. Let's find a goy, let's find a baby, let's find a kid to do it. And then, chas v'shalom, there is no kid. We're talking about a life-threatening situation, right? And another reason is that an understanding adult will be much quicker in doing it than a child. You have to appease him. Oh, I give you candy if you do this, blah, blah, blah. So an adult does it much quicker, much better, much more efficient, and we're dealing with seconds sometimes. Let's say a sick person we should be mechalel Shabbat for, and he says, no, I don't do this. I don't want people to be mechalel Shabbat for me. This is a Hasid Shoteh. He is being a fool, right? And Rabbeinu Nisim Gaon writes, he's shofech damim, he's a murderer, and he's metchayev benafsho. We force him by force that he should be taken care of to save his life. Okay? Kol hamakayim nefesh echad beYisrael, whoever saves the life of one Jew, it's as if he is saving a whole world. So therefore, no worries. Whoever is mechalel Shabbat for pikuach nefesh, it's a great mitzvah. And therefore, he shouldn't think, oh, now that I was mechalel Shabbat yesterday, I should do teshuvah, I need a kapara. He goes to the rabbi, tell me what I should do. I was mechalel Shabbat. What are you talking about? You saved someone's life. There's no kapara needed. There's nothing. You don't need to do teshuvah on this. Now, that being said, if one is mechalel Shabbat for pikuach nefesh, and then finds out there was no need, Baruch Hashem, either the person got better or someone else took care of it. Someone else did the treatment, right? He gets there, he hopped in the car, Hatzalah member, jumps in the car and gets there. He goes, oops, there's another person there. So he's thinking, oi, what did I do? I was mechalel Shabbat for nothing. Chas v'shalom. He did the right thing, and he has his sachar gadol me'et Hashem. He has a great reward from Hashem because he was mezarez. He tried to do as much as he can to save someone's life, which is a great mitzvah. No problem at all. A person shouldn't think, oh, you know what, the other person is going to go, so I'm not going to go. And that is the directive that the Hatzalah members have. Don't think that someone else is going to go. Right? Now, Chazal said, this is a Mishnah, a few different places. If someone was in a place and chas v'shalom, it says naflu alav mapolet, earthquake, rocks fell on it, right? Now we're not even sure if the person is there. Maybe he got away, or maybe he didn't get away and he's dead. We have no idea. What's the halacha? The halacha is, even if it's a safek, it's a double safek, maybe he got away, or even if he's there, he's dead, right? We are mechalel Shabbat mi safek. Even if we're not sure, we are mechalel Shabbat, right? Based on this halacha, someone, chas v'shalom, says to his friend that he has chest pains, okay? And he's saying, you know what, that he's afraid that maybe it's a heart attack, right? And he's asking his friend, please take me to the hospital, right? Even if we don't know this person. We don't know, is he joking, is he reliable, whatever it is, we don't know. And you look at him, he looks okay, he's not even pale, right? What's the halakha? Take him. You gotta take him, right? Either call an ambulance or take him right away, right? Because it's a safek, right?
Jew or not Jew? It doesn't matter.
Oh, only for a Jew. If it's a goy, and there is no other way, then we are mechale Shabbat. That's mipnei darkei eva, because we're afraid that if we don't do it, this poor thing is like saying is about to die. If we don't save him, then chas v'shalom, they might do the same to us, right? We're living in a world that news travels instantly, and it could put other Jews' lives in danger. So therefore, we have to be extra careful, right? Now, so we take this guy, this person, right away to the hospital. It is doche Shabbat. It pushes Shabbat away, and we need to do that right away. Similar case. Someone is not feeling well, but we're not sure what's wrong with him. Someone who is not an expert, he says, you know what? I think this guy is in a dangerous situation. We are mechalel Shabbat. Right away, we could pick up the phone, call the doctor, call an ambulance, or just put him in the car, drive him to the doctor, even if we're not sure if this guy knows what he's talking about. This person that's there, he's not a doctor, he's not an expert, he's not an MT, but he thinks that it could be dangerous. Safek, we got to do it. If it's safek nefashot, we got to do it. People don't know this, and it's dangerous. You could even put him in the car. You're not even sure if the doctor is at home. Do it. Hatzalah says, don't go to anyone's home. Just go straight to the hospital. That would be the best thing to do.
If a child complains that they're in pain or something like that, but the child doesn't understand themselves as much as an adult does. Let's say
Then it depends. We're gonna see. Depends if the child has fever. It depends. If it's a fever that we can't explain, right away, hospital. No question. Yeah.
Wow.
If you can't explain, if you know he has a respiratory problem, he has other things it gets complicated. We're going to get to it step by step. We're starting at the top. We're going to go all the way down. We should never need these halachot, but it's good to know. Now, even if later, tomorrow, you found out, you know what, this wasn't such a dangerous thing. It wasn't a big deal, right? So a person thinks, I was mechalel Shabbat for nothing, by mistake. Right? The halacha is, we say, even misafek pikuach nefesh, even if it's a safek, it's a doubt, you're not sure if this is pikuach nefesh, it is doche Shabbat, it pushes Shabbat. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to wait and linger. Let's make sure this is needed, this is not needed. I remember one time I was in one place, and there was a person there that, when we got there, they said, he had fever since last night. So we asked, what is it from? They said, we have no idea. And they were thinking, they were big tzaddikim. They were thinking, opening up a sefer should be My brother was there. He said, we're talking about in Israel. He said, gotta call the ambulance right away. No one was doing it. Picked up the phone, called the ambulance right away. There's no question. If there is a fever, everybody is suddenly become tzaddikim. Fever. You can't explain why? Let's go. It's no joke. Now, melachot that a person could do, those melachot beshinui, right? And it's not going to delay. Right? Nothing is just going to go. It's just the shinui. He does it with a certain change. Then you could then do it beshinui. For example, this person is very, very sick, shivering, right? So definitely you need to turn the heater on, right? And you can't wait around. You got to heat him up. So you take the heater, you got to plug it into the plug. Do it. But if you could turn your hand, do it backwards, then do it. Or you got to press the button with your elbow. It won't linger, it won't matter. So then, whatever we could do with shinu, we do. If we can't, so then do it in a normal manner. Let's say the plug is in a very awkward place. If you start playing around, let me see if I could put it between my toes and plug it in. It's not worth it. So, but if it's not going to be some sort of a delay, then we could do it. Let's say we need to. Let's say there is a need to turn the light on for the sick person, just to diagnose, to see what's going on. There is a choice. You could turn one lamp on, or you could turn a big, a bigger light. So definitely the more light, the better. Definitely we should do that. We should go ahead and turn that on. This is a big controversy. In Halachot, is a big question. It's called marbe b'shiurim. You're doing something. Now, can you do more? Let me tell you an example. It's a cute example.
On video.
Just what I was afraid of. So, where were we? Oh, the lights. So this is it. There's a Gemara in Masachet Menachot. If there is someone that is sick, the doctor said this person needs, I'm not sure about the details exactly, this person needs 2 figs in order to save his life. Okay? 2 figs in order to save his life. And we have a fig tree right there. Oh, look at this. We have a fig tree. And on one of the branches, there is 2 figs. And on another branch, there is 3 figs. Which branch do you cut? The one with 2, because the doctor said that he only needs 2. You're not allowed to cut the one with 3. But then you say, who cares? You cutting is cutting. It's called marbe shiurim. You are doing some extra, right? The shiur, is although it's just the same cutting, but it's adding. That's not allowed. They bring other cases also. It's a very, very interesting piece of the Gemara, and it's used a lot. They're drawing blood on someone for testing. So what do we say? Draw more so that you won't have to, poke him again, right? So you're saving yourself from doing extra melacha by drawing more. Marbe b'shiurim. I'm telling you, this is used a lot of places. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you, so in this case though, we say do turn on the bigger light because definitely it'll be a big help to assess the situation better when you have more light. Definitely better. Especially now that we have LED lights, this is much easier. Makes life much easier because incandescent lights, you have the wire that's burning. That's literally fire. That's really asur min Torah. LED is easier, right? LED is less of a chilul Shabbat than incandescent, for sure. Then we have a choice, okay, let me see which light should I turn on. Obviously, nowadays, it's being phased out incandescent, but in the bigger lights, it's not going to be phased out for now. So if there's a choice between LED and this, definitely go with the LED. And even the new fluorescent, CFL bulbs and everything, also easier. Okay. Now, if we know for sure that if we delay, if we do it later, Baruch Hashem, nothing is going to happen, so then we have to do it. If we know for sure, it has to be clear that if you delay the process, whatever it is, whatever chilul Shabbat it is that they have to do. If they delay for after Shabbat, let's say there is a surgery that they have to do, but it doesn't have to be done right away. They could hold off until after Shabbat. Nothing's going to happen. There's no life danger, really. Then they should wait. Why should they be mechal Shabbat? For no reason, right? But if there is a question, maybe we should do it now. It'll be better. It'll be I don't know. They have to stop the bleeding. That's definitely they have to do right away. I'm not talking about an emergency surgery. There are some surgeries that don't have to be done right away. Let's say Chas v'Shalom, there is a cut on someone's face. So as long as they stop the bleeding, they could do the surgery to stitch it up better after Shabbat. Unless they're afraid that it's going to stay, then there is a whole question: should we care? Should they stitch him up with more stitches, so that there won't be a scar, or just do a zigzag, just let it be, Like, for some guys, it's more macho, like, they want to have that scar. But definitely for a little girl, like, the question came up, like, for a little girl, like, she had a cut. So there was a question, what should they do? Should they do, like, tiny microscopic surgeries in order that there shouldn't be a scar or not? The halacha is, Rav Ovadia says, do the micro, no problem. Based on this that we just said, Marbe B'Shiurim, that we just said, you are allowed to for this, in this purpose. Once you're doing it, you're allowed to do it anyway. Sewing up a human being is not a melacha of tofer. So it's not really, according to many poskim, it's not really the oraita. So we're good.
The Avera is on the doctor who's doing it, or it's the
There's
person-
no Avera.
I'm saying, but like the question is on the person who's performing the thing, not on the person who's being done.
Person who is sick, that's funny you ask. We're going to discuss that. No, on him, usually there isn't unless he's helping out. We're going to get to a certain case, Be'ezrat Hashem, later. I don't know if we're going to make it tonight, but during the course of the thing, we're going to get to that, if that person is also a partner in the crime. Okay. Now, one of the very important things that the Gemara discusses is the eye, right? One of the most important things, really, is the eye. A person who has a lot of pain in the eye and is getting mucus, a lot of mucus from even one eye, not even two eyes, even one eye, or he has so much pain that tears are coming down. Tears are coming down non-stop because of the pain. Or there's an infection. We say that this person is considered chole sheyesh bo sakana, and we're mechalel Shabbat for this person. A Jew could be mechalel Shabbat for it, right? Do whatever is needed to take care of this, right? The same halacha is if he feels like a sharp pain. Sharp, not pain. It's not a pain. It's like needles. Feels like tingles, right? Inside the eye, same thing, right? We're mechalel Shabbat for this person. Until emergency crews arrive, we are allowed to put some antibiotic ointment or whatever we think, we know that would be helpful. We are allowed to do that. And but if none of these signs, that means the pus or the tearing or the different types of pain are not present, then a person could use eye drops to alleviate the pain. Okay, because the eyes is no joke. The Gemara says, I think the Gemara is in the Avodah Zarah, if I'm not mistaken, that there was a maidservant that was crying, saying she has a lot of pain in the eye, and nobody paid attention to her. And then after Shabbat, her eye popped out and she died. And so they did surgery. I don't know how they did surgery afterwards, and they found that it was connected to her heart somehow. From there, the Gemara says the veins of the eye are connected to the heart. Somehow, that's why we're very careful on the eye. The eye is extremely important when it comes to this halachot. A person has to pay close attention. Now, chas v'shalom, someone gets hurt, someone gets stabbed or hit by metal or anything that is that could be infectious, right? Then you got to take care of it right away, even if it entails chilul Shabbat, right? This is Shulchan Aruch. This is nothing new. This is Shulchan Aruch Shin Kaf Chet. Anywhere, doesn't matter. A cut with a knife is reason enough to be mechalel Shabbat for. Obviously, we're not talking about some nick or some little scratch of a knife. Oh, let's call the hospital. No. But definitely, it's interesting. I was reading, Rav Ovadia brings down that Rav Eliyahu Mani, 100 years ago, was the Rav in Hebron. A little bit over 100 years ago. The Rav of the city of Hebron. And he writes this tale that this guy comes and he had a question. Reuven comes and asked him that he had a cut, right? Is he allowed to ask a goy to put bandage on this cut, right? Is he allowed to ask a goy to put a bandage on this cut? And what happened was, he says he was cutting something and he cut his fingers. That is, he didn't cut his fingers off, he just cut his fingers. Right? So Rav Eliyahu Mani writes that I told him it's asur. Can't do it, and he brings proof. He can't do it. Rav Adia writes, this is not, he says, Mechilat mikavot Torato, with forgiveness from his greatness of Torah, he didn't give the right Pesach. He didn't give the right Pesach, because this explicit halakha that we just learned, that any cut from metal is considered sakana, and you gotta get, you could be mechalel Shabbat for this. Forget about the goy. Forget about putting the bandage through a goy. A Jew could do it. So he says, therefore, he would. Rav Vadia would say that, like, this, he shouldn't have given this pesach halacha. All right.
Using a band-aid altogether, is that?
Using a band-aid to stop the bleeding, right? That's not a problem. We said that. Right.
And so if you cut your finger with a knife, you could put Neosporin on it?
If one cuts his finger with a knife, right, then to put Neosporin, Neosporin we didn't say. Neosporin is like, it might be refuah. We said we should wash it with soap, right, and put the band-aid on. Right, dry and put the band-aid.
There are band-aids that have like...
That have antibiotics,
Is that okay?
right. That's nothing. That shouldn't be a problem. I don't know if that's refuah. Doesn't heal. I'm not even sure if it's real. Yeah.
Sorry, so I missed the last thing.
So
you said
the
if you
metal,
cut yourself-
right? If one cuts himself with a knife, right? Anything metal, right? Then there is a danger. So we say that it's that we could be even mechalel Shabbat for that, if need to. Okay, metal. Even now, doctors, all the doctors say, like, a metal. If a metal.
So why would the Neosporin, that's a refuah?
Oh, in the case of a person cut himself with a knife. But again, look, this is if it's a deep cut, Neosporin is not gonna. It's not gonna do anything. Neosporin. Really, I'll tell you, a lot of dermatologists will tell you that Neosporin. I don't know, Dr. Cavalier is not here, but a lot of the dermatologists will tell you Neosporin doesn't do anything.
What about that red stuff?
Better?
Yeah.
That's an antiseptic. Basically water. Wash the person too.
Water soap. I'm telling you.
Wow.
And don't use alcohol, for sure not.
Yeah.
Alcohol will burn all the nerve endings, and it just makes it worse. Not from me. Okay. Chas v'shalom. Someone who got bitten by a kelev shoteh, a dog that has rabies. How are you going to find out he has rabies? Or a snake, or a spider or scorpion, right? Even if we're not sure if it's sakana. We're not sure. Okay, dog bit him. We're not sure, if it's a sakana. It is a mitzvah to be mechalel Shabbat for this person by a Jew, right? You are even allowed to either trap or kill the creature that bit him, right? In order to bring him to the hospital to make sure they know what exactly the treatment for this person should be, right? So that they could do it as quick and as best as possible. Okay? You're even allowed to trap or kill the creature, whatever it is, the dog or the snake or whatever it is, so that they'll know, what's going on, what to do with this person. Or the same thing goes if a person, chas v'shalom, gets bitten by a wasp or a bee, and this person is allergic, right? Definitely we could be mechalel Shabbat for this person. Safek nefashot lahakel. As you know, chas v'shalom, if someone is allergic to a bee sting, within minutes, they could just stop breathing. That's why they should have epinephrine handy for these cases. But if not, definitely 100%, right away, there could be a mechalel Shabbat for this person. Safek nefashot lehakel. That's the rule of thumb. That even if you have a doubt and you're dealing with someone's nefesh, we could be mekel and jump and do be mechalel Shabbat.
When you said when you say be mechalel Shabbat, do you mean that you could do anything to be mechalel Shabbat?
Start the if he has to be taken to hospital right away, right? So that means if it takes calling the ambulance, calling Hatzalah, or jumping in the car and taking him to the hospital, nearest hospital, whatever it takes, like, to save the person's life, whatever we know best. Okay. There is a question in Halakha if the same rule applies to sakanat ever. Sakanat ever means that he's not going to die, right? But he might lose a limb. Person might lose a limb. So there is a question if this has the same status. The question is between Rishonim. That means like this. According to the Rabbanu Tam and the Meiri, these are the big. Rabbanu Tam was Rashi's grandson. He was one of the very garland call of Rishonim. He says that one should be mechalel Shabbat even for the sakanat ever. Even if the one limb is in danger, one should be mechalel Shabbat. But Rashi, Ramban, Rashba, and Ritva, I believe, they say that no, you cannot be mechalel Shabbat except for pikuach nefesh, if a person's life is in danger only. But if he might lose a limb, so be it. Do not be mechalel Shabbat. Let go do it, right? Whatever. But a Jew to be mechalel Shabbat for a limb, no. And that is how it is brought in the Shulchan Aruch.
But a lot of the times, loss of a limb oftentimes may lead to loss of life due to excessive blood loss.
Okay, well, that's right. That is 100% correct. Shulchan Aruch says that we go like those that say that we are not mechalel Shabbat for a loss of a limb. However, Acharonim, after, they bring down Rav Eliezer of Oldenburg, Zichron Rav Ovadia, they all bring that these days we know that doctors are telling us, exactly like Dr. Refuah said, that that Chas v'Shalom, loss of a limb could develop into a sakana in the whole body, and Chas v'Shalom, be it bleeding, be it infection. It could be a few different reasons why, and therefore the halakha is that we are mechalel Shabbat even for sakanat ever. Even if one limb is in danger, we are mechalel Shabbat. Interesting halakha. I think with this we'll stop. But the halakha is if someone has a lot of pain in his tooth, and is begging that someone should extract his teeth, right? Even if his whole body is not aching, he's not chole kol gufo, he has a lot of pain. You are allowed to extract the teeth on Shabbat by using a goy, right? You ask a goy dentist to come and extract the teeth, right? And if the pain is really bad, and the doctor says it's a sakana, if you don't take it out, then even a Jewish doctor could extract the tooth, right? There's a lot of talk about that. You mean extracting the tooth could cause infection?
No, not extracting.
Not extracting it. There's so many things. I'm telling you, this is not a simple halakha. There's a lot of talk on this, a lot. But that's how Rav Ovadia comes out. It says that you could do it, you could have it pulled off, and if it's a lot of pain and it's a danger, for sure, even a Jewish doctor could go ahead and extract the tooth, right? For many reasons. One is, it's a melacha she'ena tzricha legufa, right? What are you doing? He's extracting the teeth. Okay, now what do you want to do with the tooth? You want to keep it as a souvenir? You don't want the tooth, you just want to extract it, pull it out. So already it gets lower to a melacha she'ena tzricha legufa. You don't need this melacha. Just So therefore that already makes it easier. And that's what he says. It's a big thing. They say, one of the poskim says that there's gases that build up under the tooth. So by extracting it, you're definitely release the pain, and releasing the pain, poskim say, is half of the work, because from the pain a person could go crazy, could be yotze midato, could go crazy. And once you extract it, lots of experience in this room with these things. Okay, we should never need these halachot, but it's good. Bezrat Hashem, we should always be healthy and good.